Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, following the strategy, showing up, trying to stay consistent, but something still isn't clicking? Whether it be your business, your financial situation, your relationships, whatever it is, a lot of times we think it's just the strategy. We think it's because we don't understand it. So we overthink every decision. We wait before we feel confident. And that's not always what the issue is. So, in today's episode, we're diving into what is actually the problem, and it's not the strategy. We're talking about the real reason why most women stay stuck in their business, their career, their money, all of the things, and how your mindset, your nervous system, and your identity are the foundational pieces that can truly help push things forward and get you there so much quicker. Because really, the truth is, we don't need any more information. We just need to become the woman who can hold what we want to actually bring into our life. And so I'm so excited today. I'm bringing in a special guest, Morgan Falls, a personal brand and business mentor who helps women build brands that can grow with them. What I love about Morgan is that while we teach a little bit different things, we're also so aligned in the belief that our identity is the key piece. So today we're blending both mindset and strategy and really helping dive into what that looks like in your business and how to stop overthinking the niche, how to stop like trying to figure out all the things, right? How am I going to create something that's going to be profitable long term? Let's stop overthinking and just step into the identity of the woman who already has it all. So, if you're ready, let's dive in. Hello and welcome. Today I am collabing with Morgan Falls. I'm going to go ahead and let her introduce herself, tell us a little bit about her story and transformation, and then we'll also kind of go into my story and transformation, and we're gonna do a fun little swapsies with our podcast. So I'm going to be on her podcast and she's going to be on mine. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the time over to Morgan.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mary Jo. And guys, if you're listening in on my podcast, you do not want to skip this one. I found Mary Jo on Instagram and I was like, okay, I love everything about this woman. And I just knew you guys needed to learn about what she does because it's different than what I do. And it's an extension that you really need if you're wanting to grow your brand, your business, all of that. So, to get into who I am, if you're new to me, my name is Morgan J. Falls. I am a personal brand and business mentor. And I really love to help women who have their businesses online really create a personal brand that grows with them so that if they decide to pivot in a year or two, they're not having to burn the whole thing down and start over. So we really take what it is about them that makes them unique and we turn that into your leverage point so that your clients stick with you and grow with you, scale with you, and it really becomes a personal brand that people learn to love and buy into. And I help women move from that kind of beginner phase to consistent income online. So that is what I do. Mary Jo, why don't you introduce yourself before I go into my whole story? So that my audience can kind of get a taste of you before they zone out on probably me talking for a minute.
I totally get that. Yeah, and again, like the same is true for you. Like just seeing that you help women stand in their power and really like find the self-worth piece and the confidence and knowing that you can actually build your own brand based on who you are and not worry about all of the noise around is such a beautiful thing and so many people need it. Um, Especially for someone like myself, and I know a lot of you listening who are coming from my podcast, and maybe even some coming from Morgan's, like we have a tendency to pivot. I've pivoted is I don't know if that's a word, but I've pivoted multiple times. So this is gonna be a good one. Definitely tune in. So my name is Mary Jo Rember. I am a money mindset and confidence coach. I help women truly learn how to stand in their power, stop overthinking, stop people pleasing, and really to start to take action on their goals and dreams. A lot of times, what I've seen in the past is that we can dive into the strategy, we can dive into all of the things, and what truly matters first is making sure that you have your mindset and your nervous system in check before you start implementing all the other things because We can have all of the things and pieces in and ducks in a row, but if we're not actually like in a mindset to be able to move forward, then that's where we get stuck. And so I really help women get out of the stuckness that we get in when it comes to just showing up online, showing up in our business, showing up as, you know, a confident person in your career, all the things in life. So okay,
Yeah.
that's my story. So I'll let you go ahead and share a little bit more about you and your transformation and all the things.
Sure. Well, yeah, and I love like just piggybacking off what Mary Jo said. Like this is why I chose to kind of like talk to her about this because listen, there are a million coaches out there. You guys know that. There are so many coaches out there. What I love about Mary Jo is we have a very, even though we teach different things, we have a very similar way of thinking that like it I love strategy. Like I love strategy because I think it keeps people grounded. You know what I mean? But I'm like, it doesn't, and I've said this a million times. You guys have, if you're listened to this before, you know, but it does not matter. I could give you anybody's strategy. I could give you anybody's strategy. And if you cannot hold it, you don't have the embodiment, the mindset, the identity to hold it, it will not matter, especially when we're talking about showing up online and starting out. Um, like people make it look easy, but they make it look easy because they've done it for a long time. It's never as easy as it seems. And it's important to get all of those things, like your nervous system, all of that ready. So I love that. But okay, so I'll talk about myself for a minute. I'm gonna try to keep this like short. I know everyone's always like, long story short, it's 3 hours later, but um, so I actually started coaching about 3 years ago. And what led to that was prior to becoming a coach, I had gone through some really big self-development. Always worked corporate. I always had a very like serious leadership type job. I was a COO at a couple different startups. I really learned the business side of things. And I loved business and I loved learning about business. What I did not love was somebody telling me what to do. Like I'm not very employable. And especially when the somebody who was telling me what to do was like profiting off my idea. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing about big business. It's kind of hard in that way. So I actually left corporate and I went into nursing, which also, by the way, you get told what to do all the time. But I loved nursing. It just I was nursing like at the height of COVID and I was like, okay, there has to be more to life than this. That's kind of when I started going down my self-development path. I had, not the best childhood and not the best like young adulthood. There were just rough things that I had to work through. And in that self-development phase, I really learned so much and was able to start finding my own gifts. And that's when I was like, I want to help other women do this. And so I actually started out 3 years ago as like a clarity and mindset coach. I started before I had any certifications, I started helping clients and I loved it. Then I did actually go through like a program to get certified and like NLP and Reiki and all of that, which I don't really use that much anymore, but it's good to know. And in that process, I started getting more clients and it was interesting because it's like it wouldn't matter what these clients came to me for without fail. As soon as we like kind of got their mindset right and started getting them to where they were like feeling better about themselves, they're like, okay, now I want to start a business. And so I'm like, there must be something about me that projects that out that like, I can also help you with the business because I never talked about my background online. And I was like, well, I can definitely help you with that. And so I started doing that and I actually fell in love with that side of it. And I think a huge turning point came for me. I was working at the hospital one day and there was like this girl who was quite a bit younger than me. She was like in her mid 20s and we were just talking about how crazy it was at the hospital. Like I said, it was after COVID and there were just so many things and she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "I don't know. Like there has to be something better we can do. Like this cannot be all there is to life." And she's like, "Right, but we just spent like 4 years in school to do this." So she's like, "So now we're stuck to it." And I was like, "Wait, is this what normal like quote unquote normal people think?" Like you can't do anything. And yeah, and so that's when I was like, oh hell no. Like I have to start showing women there's other options. And so that's kind of where it all started from. And since then, I mean, we all know it evolves, it changes, but that's really where it started was from that. And that's why it's so important to me, like when women come into my container, because even still to this day, I have some clients who, even though they have a business, they're more heavy on needing the mindset. And they come to me more for that. It all ties together, like business, mindset, it all ties together. We work on it all. And I just love taking them from a state of feeling. Usually clients come to me feeling like scattered. That's something I hear. Scattered, overwhelmed. They're very much unsure of their capabilities, which blows my mind because these people are 10 times smarter than I could ever hope to be. They are so brilliant. And it just is a matter of us like, okay, let's just stop for a minute. We slow down for like a couple weeks just to kind of recalibrate and really get clear on what we want. And then from there, like we can line out all the other pieces and it just falls into a place where they're like, why is this so simple? Right? Like, how did it become more simple, but I'm making more money? How did I cut out 3 hours of work a day and I'm able to achieve the same thing? And it's, to me, that's everything because I'm a mom, and I'm like, who wants to be spending all this time doing things you don't need to do? So that's kind of my story. And that's my big transformation is just helping women like go from feeling broken, feeling lost, feeling like there's no way out to really creating something that is theirs, that they feel at home in, and that can grow with them and allow them to actually live a life because that's the point, right? So,
Yeah. That is so beautiful. And I love how you like in that moment, like I can almost like even as you were telling me, she was like, I guess we went to school. This is just it. We're stuck. Like I could feel that in my body. Like, and especially like, and I'm sure you've had that feeling too. Like as ambitious women, like feeling stuck can just really be like heavy. We feel it so deep in our body. And that to me is like right there. That's the sign that's like, no, no, like that's not how it's going to be. And I'm going to show people that I can so that they can come and follow me too and join this process that could really be transformative and help them have more time with their family and help them just not feel like they're constantly overthinking and doing all the things like to make this business work.
yes, exactly. And it's like sometimes it's just a matter of like believing that there's another option because yeah, like you said, I every time I tell that story, I feel like the tightness in my chest and just like how she must have felt. And I'm like, oh, it breaks my heart because she's so young too. Well, girl, you can do whatever you want, honestly.
Right. Yeah, and that can be challenging too when you have a family and a lifestyle and all of the
Mhm.
things. And that's where we get ourselves stuck because if we're thinking in this system of just this is what everyone says is the right way, and we don't actually question those thoughts and like open our mind up to it and regulate our nervous system, feel the emotions, process them, then we get stuck and we're just we're doing the same thing over and over and over again. No matter what like business we create, we're just going to create that in our business. So,
Yes, yes. And we can definitely, I would love to talk about that later because that's like a huge thing I see too, where people are like, they come to me and it's like they actually want to be an employee still because they can't break out of that, like, tell me what to do, tell me how to do it. And it's like, no, like you're building this,
yeah.
So it's so
Let's dive
interesting to see
into it for a
patterns.
minute. Let's dive
Yeah.
into it right now, like while the
Yeah.
conversation's going that way, and then we can get back to all the things. So,
Yeah, I just always say like, because clients will come to me and like, not just clients, potential clients, whatever, but it's always like, I'm like, what do you actually want? And instead of telling me like what they want out of life or how they want their days to go or how they want it to feel, it's like they're still in that employee mode where they're like, well, I just want to like work 6 hours a day only and I just want to make this amount of money a month. That's literally all you want out of life. Like, let's go bigger. And then they're like, oh, it's like there's a cutoff between they have a hard time like meshing, making money with any emotion, if that makes sense. Like
mhm.
I'm like, it doesn't have to be this struggle. Like they think it has to be some hard struggle and so that's where I'm like, no, okay, this is your dream business. What do you want it to look like? And when it's like a whole new world is open. They're like, oh, so I can take Mondays off. I'm like, you can take Mondays off if you want, like that. And they're like, oh my gosh, like, right. And so I'm like, I'm not your boss. Like you are your boss and you just need to lay out what you want and then we can build like a blueprint and a plan around that. And yeah, there might be some things that I'm going to tell you that might take longer than you think, but I'm never going to be the person that's like you have to work these hours, you have to because what's the point then? Like you said, then you just create and I've seen that. I've seen that so many times even with coaches that like we started at the same time, we have a camaraderie. I have seen where they have created a business based on some other mentor's blueprint, right? And it's like a year down the line, they're like, I'm making money, but I hate it. And I'm like, yeah, you're just an employee to your business. Like, get out, stop doing that. And that to me is the biggest thing. Like, I'm never going to tell you, you have to do it this way. Because if it doesn't feel good, you're not going to do it. But B, even if you make money doing it, you're going to hate it. So what is the point? You know?
Yeah.
But it's hard. It's so hard. It's a hard mentality for them to break.
Yeah, that mentality can definitely and well, I'll go into that later when we talk more about money mindset, or if we want to dive in, we can go into that as well.
Yeah, go ahead, dive in. And then after you talk about that, because I do want to hear what you have to say, tell us your story.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, because I mean, our brains are, and so many of you know this if you listen to my podcast, but those of you who maybe are new here, like just our brains are literally wired for survival. Like, so when we are trying to implement a new story, a new idea, like this idea that I can actually create what I want, when we've been living a lifestyle that shows otherwise or that everyone's been telling us, it feels scary to our brain. It doesn't know the difference between that perceived threat and the actual real, like physical, like danger. It thinks that we're running from the tiger, right? So then we have these thoughts come up around money, and it's coming from a place of scarcity, but that's because our brain is wanting to keep us safe. It thinks the new thing is going to somehow be some physical threat. And so it's like, no, and it puts up the walls and it's like, we don't want to think the new thing. And that's totally normal for our brain to do. And so we really just have to learn how to tap into the subconscious mind, be able to feel the emotions, because when you like, and I always use this story as a great example, like if you've ever gone to the grocery store and your card declined or anything like that, and maybe you've had that like growing up as a kid, or maybe you did that a few times in your early 20s or something, and you're so now as a you've grown a little bit and you go in, you might still clench your butt cheeks every time you're swiping your card. And so it's like just being able to go out to your car, sit down before you even drive home, and just putting one hand on your heart, one on your belly, and just noticing like where you feel it in your body and what the thoughts are that come up around that, and just like allowing yourself to be like, oh, okay, like, and breathing through it, and like really training your brain, like, okay, so like kind of going back to Morgan's example of like, oh no, I can actually think bigger, like feel that emotion in your body, and as you feel it, notice what thoughts are coming up and allow your brain to like just know like this is safe to feel and process this emotion. It's safe to think something new. Like, I'm safe, I'm safe. Deep breath in and then deep breath out, and just like sit there for maybe like 3 minutes tops. And then that every time like you come around like a situation around money or anything like that, where you start to get that like, then you process it, and it doesn't have to be perfect, right? It's like, if it doesn't process right away and you're still feeling that emotion, that's okay. Like, it doesn't need to be fixed right away. But the more you do it, the more that just like feels safe, and your body becomes to recognize, and it becomes a habit to feel safe so that it knows it's not an actual physical danger. So,
Yeah, I love that.
I'll-
And like, thank you for giving us real life examples because I think with money mindset stuff, like people miss the nervous system end of it. And so it does just become like repeating mantras. And it's like, that's great. Like, I love to think I'm a millionaire, but like, yeah, that won't help me when I'm checking out. Right. And so I love what you just said because that checkout thing is so real. Like, even if your card is never declined, I watch people check out sometimes and I can see like the splotches on their neck appear and I'm like, oh, they're just stressed. Like,
yeah.
there's so much stress around money for us, right? Like it's crazy. So
For your
thank you for providing that super simple example because it is so important.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's way important. Money again holds a lot of stress because we've been taught to think that money is stressful. And so it's just really training your brain that it doesn't have to be. And yeah, like you can sit and repeat, like, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. But if you know you're not, like that cognitive dissonance is just going to be like, no, screw you.
Brain's
It's
like, now
almost
you're
like,
just lying to me.
right? It's almost, and it's funny because it's actually rewiring the old thought. If you say the affirmation and you don't believe it, it then like you're almost like in the back of your mind saying, "No, I'm actually not a millionaire." And then you're rewiring
Like affirming
that
it
you're
back. Yeah.
crazy.
And
So
that's what, listen, folks, that's why just chat GPTing and Pinteresting these things don't work because they're going to give you affirmations and then you're going to make it worse. So, okay, Mary Jo, tell us how you got into this. So I'm always so curious when people do money mindset, and I know you also do other things, but like I'm always so curious how you get into that because it's a very, like, listen, money is a controversial topic. So I want to hear the whole story and the transformation. I'm dying to know.
yeah. Okay, yeah, we'll dive in. Kind of similar situation, like just grew up learning to people please. Learning to learning to just make sure that everyone else around me was comfortable, right? So that, I didn't ruffle any feathers, right? Growing up, my mom, I love her to pieces. It was almost as if I was the adult in the situation. It was always like,
Same.
and yeah, and and a lot of people who listen in kind of have those, on the podcast, have those similar things that kind of happened for them as well, whether it be a father or their mom. Um, but it's like, in fact, one of my clients told me the other day that her mom told her, like, I feel like you have an older soul than me, that you came here to teach me. And she's like, yeah, I know. And it just happens, right? We sometimes we come into this life and our parents are, yeah, we gotta train them. And that doesn't
Sometimes we were
always
born in the 80s and that's what happens, right? That's how they parented back then.
oh my goodness. So, I mean, where am I here? Okay, so it almost was like I was parenting her. And so this is my kind of example of what it was like. You know, when your kids want something and you don't want to tell them no, even though you know you need to tell them no because you don't want to deal with them throwing a fit. But when you're an adult, you know, like, okay, I need to actually tell my kid no, right? I was just a kid though. And so, like, learning how to set boundaries, learning to make sure that my mom's emotions were constantly taken care of. I didn't understand that. I was a kid. And so I was like on these eggshells constantly, making sure I'm people pleasing, overthinking every situation, trying to control the way I speak so that it didn't hurt anyone's feelings or rock the boat in the house. And then as a teenager, I was like, screw it, all hands in the air. I'm done with this. And then I just rocked the boat and I was done. It was like, all of a sudden I had this like this breakthrough moment where I was just like, I'm done with this. I'm so sick of it. And then it was years of my parents constantly telling me that I was a troubled child because of course I decided to rebel against always trying to make everyone happy. And so that was kind of my story, like just, coming into the corporate world, not having enough confidence to say what I needed to say. And so I kept like manifesting this throughout my jobs and noticing like, like not having the courage to speak up, to ask for the raise, to do the things. And so um I wanted to really like a lot of what kind of came up for me is just as I started to recognize that I was literally living to make sure that my mom was taken care of for so long. I needed to find out who I was. I mean, I was 25 years old, like who the hell am I? I have no clue. So I started diving into um personal development, and that led down like there's always constantly, and this has kind of always been a thing for me as a kid too, like I always had these like entrepreneurial ideas of just like, oh, I should start a Etsy page, and just like always having these ideas. And so at first I wanted to write a book, and I just all of the ideas, and finally one day I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to start. And it was messy and scary, and I was, I had a blog one time with, recipes, and then it transitioned into being a fitness coach, and then I was a beach body coach, and then like then I moved into mindset, and then I realized like I it just didn't align with Beachbody, so I kind of moved out of that phase and started doing my own thing. And then it was like, but as you can kind of see, like the Beachbody thing was me just needing some sort of structure to
Yeah.
like follow, kind of like what we were talking about a minute ago, like make sure that I was being accountable to some sort of system. And so what I recognized as I started to step into my own business is that I needed to get the help and the coaching so that I could learn how to be accountable to my own self, because you can hire any coach, and if you're looking for that coach to hold you accountable, which I mean, as a coach, I'm gonna reach out and be like, "Hey, did you do the thing?"
Right.
But with that said, if you're expecting a coach to do that for you, then you're probably not going to follow through. And so
Right.
through my journey,
I need everybody to like go back 10 seconds and re-listen to that because I get that all the
uh-huh,
time where people are like, I just want you to hold me accountable. I was like, oh, this isn't gonna work then because I'm not your mom. So
no.
continue though.
Yeah, I'm glad yeah, it's really true. Like I feel like the clients who want me to carry them don't get the result that they need. And that's
Never.
where I get to have that fun conversation and say, "Hey, here we go." But yeah, just like recognizing that I do have power in my voice and that I do get to choose what I want and I do get to stop people pleasing. And through that process, like I recognized that that relationship with how I showed up for other people and my relationships with my husband and stuff was the same relationship I had with money. Same exact thing. It literally mirrored. And so that's kind of where the money mindset came in is I've always been interested in the energetics of money because there's so much value and understanding when you look at everything from the perspective of a relationship, like how you're talking to money, how you're speaking to it. And so I started to kind of like learn more about that. And I realized like I'm over here treating money like it is the evil redheaded stepchild. And it didn't deserve that. Of course, it didn't want to be around, right? Like that energetic piece of it was missing. And so when I learned how to treat money as if it were a loving, kind relationship. And that process that I went through with my husband, learning how to treat him better and be a better wife, was the same process to take myself through with money. So it was learning how to stop people pleasing. Because when you people please, you literally end up not pleasing anybody, including yourself. You abandon yourself by making sure everyone else is comfortable.
And then
And
they
so
still aren't comfortable because the people who need you to do that will never be comfortable. They love being there. So yeah, it's like
yeah. And so this process is still growing, and I just get to show up and share my story and help other women who are wanting to build that confidence. And a lot of times, like the self-worth and the confidence come with growing your career, being able to sit down and ask for a raise, being able to grow money in your business. Or, I've had a lot of clients who come in and, they're just afraid to even ask their husband if they can have money because they're the stay-at-home mom, and so really helping them see their own value and worth in that relationship. So there's just a lot of things going on here. And what I've kind of similar to what you said with your situation with you notice that people kept coming to you for business. That's what was happening for me is a lot of people were coming and it's like, I want to work on money. I want to work on money. And it's like, clearly this is the thing. And it scared the crap out of me. But it was like this expansive scariness that I was like, all right, I guess this is the thing.
no, and it makes
Let's go.
sense because I think people like what I've noticed, like I said, I mean, I do teach lightly, like in my academy on money mindset, but I actually love learning about it. And something I've really learned over the past few years is like so often, like what you said, people demonize money. Or they're like, oh, I don't care about money. I'm not one of those people who need money. And it's like, okay, cool. Like if that's you, cool. I, on the other I do care about money. I want money because money gives me freedom. Money gives me opportunities. But then I have just noticed like online when women really boldly are like, yeah, I fucking love money. Oh, sorry, I hope I can cuss on your podcast. Sorry if
Absolutely.
not.
Excuse
When,
me.
yeah, I'm like,
No,
oh
you're
God.
good. You're good. I have it marked as explicit just for
Okay,
that.
good. Um, when women are like that, I see women and men respond so strongly, like, oh my gosh, who do you think? You're a terrible person. You're what's wrong with the world. And I'm like, no, this is what's wrong because we literally like it's like money in the air thing, right? Like money isn't everything, but it's right up there with the oxygen, right? Like
Right.
you actually need it in the world we live in. And if we constantly are acting like people with money or money itself is bad, it's like, yeah, you're always going to struggle with it because your brain will not let you be a bad person. Like your brain will not let you go there if you think. And so it's so important. It's like confidence and money mindset really go hand in hand because I feel like as women start to get more confident and confident in saying what they want, right? Like I knew that when I was a clarity coach, like I said, they would come in and be like, oh, I just want this and this. I'm like, is that really what you want? And then it would be, they had such
And you did
bigger
right.
things. It was just them allowing themselves to say it. It's like the money piece will come in because I don't care who you are or what you want to say about it. It's like money does play a role in your life and in your children's lives, especially as mothers. Like we need money to support our children. So we can't just be like, oh, I don't care about money. It's like cool, but also we have to feed these kids. So it's like, like so that makes total sense that people would come to you for that. I mean, it goes hand in hand.
Yeah, it just grows and it builds from there. And kind of similar with what you said, and what I've noticed and recognized is a lot of my clients will want to start a business or have some, because a lot of like what I've recognized with just ambitious, outgoing women is like, especially the heart-led women, right? Like you want to help other people. Like you can't help but want to help other people. And once you learn this process, it's like, oh, I've got to show other people it, right? You're like,
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
I've got to show up and show other people what's going on so that they can also benefit.
Yeah, and I think like for me, coming from the business side of it, I work only with women. And listen, I'm not a man hater, but I will say this. I worked in the corporate world with men who were, the CEOs of the startups. And like I said, I was kind of the one like doing all the things and they were just like taking the credit for it, which is fine. Like that's actually how a business works when you have a lot of people under you. But what I realized, I was like, holy, like my whole life up to that point, I was like, in my head, I was like, men just get paid more than women, right? That was always what I thought. And in that moment, one day I was like doing all the things and I'm like, holy shit. I was like, they get paid more because they demand more. Like, it's actually not their fault. It's actually my fault for never being like, you're not paying me enough or not just starting my own thing, right? That's why I was like, I'm done. Like, and that's the thing. It's like, yes, there is nobody is disputing there's an income gap. There absolutely is, but also like we as women have to then take responsibility for some of that and be like, but these are my ideas. This I'm doing this today, you know?
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because it is our responsibility. Yeah, it might not be our fault, but maybe we didn't grow up being able to speak up for ourselves, but the guys and the boys growing up learned how to speak for themselves. So now it's our responsibility to show our daughters and other women like we get to stand and we get to grow and we get to hold ourselves to that standard. And it might not shift right away. And that's the part where it's like, all right, I'm going to go
That's the
out, I'm going
part.
to create my own business. And that can feel scary. Tell us a little bit more about maybe some of the things that a lot of your clients kind of walk away with when it comes to like this personal branding and business to be able to really grow their income. Because I feel
Yeah.
like this really leads into that, like as we're talking about money, like how to grow your consistent income, but doing it by building a brand that aligns with who you are.
Yeah. Because this is what I see a lot. And this is why I kind of went into more of like the personal branding lean. Like that's not really like, trust me. When I say personal branding, people get confused. They're like, okay, so you're gonna set up my website. I'm like, hell no, I'm not. I don't even have a website. I'm not doing that shit. It's not what I'm doing. What I'm saying is what I saw consistently, okay, like I notice this, like I said, sometimes I just follow women because I like their vibe. It's not even about like what they're selling or whatever. But I had followed a lot of like network marketing women. And now I see the shift more to MRR. And listen, I'm not going to hate on either of those things. I don't care. I don't care what you're doing. If you're passionate about, that's great. But what I noticed was like these women would go so hard for these companies and like build so much for these companies. And in network marketing, for example, yes, you can make a lot of money, but like you are really still an employee. And I'm not saying that with like being rude. I'm just saying like you actually have parameters you have to stay in and things. And it's so it's fine. But what I'm saying is someone else is still getting more for the work you're doing, which is also fine if that's how you want it to be. But what happens then is like what we saw a couple years ago where the market shifted and all these people shut down. And it's like, yeah, that's how you know you're an employee because they were like deuces. It didn't matter to them. And what I saw was like the women who, it was just a really interesting time. The women who had built a personal brand right before I had a name for it, but the ones who would like posted more like lifestyle, and I hate that word because then people think I'm talking about influencer and I'm not, but what I'm saying is people who actually let you into who they were. Like I had a connection with them because I knew who their kids were, or like I knew that they like to run, or you know what I mean. Those women were able to pivot. Either they pivoted to coaching, or they pivoted to like a different company, or they pivoted to like, oh, a couple of them like opened their own like boutiques and stuff. The ones who were like, I'm posting graphics of what the hell ever, it was like dead in the water. And that's when I was like, oh. And also, I think right now with what's going on, again, I'm not like shitting on MRR, but what I've noticed the last 2 years is like, because there's so much faceless content and because there's so much AI content, it's like our brain just it disconnects because it knows. It's like when we were little and there used to be commercials and we'd see the same commercials. You could say them word for word, but you weren't actually feeling anything when you saw them, right? Like it's not like you're like, oh, that Trix is lighting me up, right? It's the same thing now. Like we're seeing these stock photos of like a girl on the beach, and it doesn't matter what you're writing over them on your faceless account. We're zoned out. And it's the same thing with the AI content. Like, no matter how good you think your AI is, I promise you
You can
it's
still
not. And our brain just knows.
tell
And
when I do
so
it.
yes. And so that's where I'm like, okay, people actually want people. And it's true, like they do. They want people. And so that's where I'm like, okay, I'm going to lean into this right now because I think it's important for women to actually build something that resonates with them that is based off of who they are. So A, we're not having to show up and perform every day because that's exhausting. B, we're not feeling so boxed in because I see that a lot where I'm like, okay, who do you serve? And it's like, I don't want to pick a niche because I don't want to be boxed in. I'm like, okay, but that won't box you in. I just need to know who we're talking to. Like, that's not going to box you in because you are you. You can never be boxed in if you're showing up as you because then next year you're going to be a different person. You know what I mean? So that's where that came from. And since I really have started approaching it with them building more of a personal brand, not like, okay, post this on Monday, say this on Tuesday, they've taken off and it's like it's just a much more easier flow. And when I started doing that, when I stopped buying the $29 content templates and just started like saying what I wanted, that's when things started taking off. That's kind of why I went that way.
Yeah. I have a question here for you. What do you recommend for somebody who kind of goes through that dip where and this has happened to me, so this is where this is like my own
Yeah.
experience, right? You go through this dip where you're going, all like everything's personal, like you're showing up, things are growing, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden, like that motivation might slip, right?
Hmm.
And you're like, I don't know what to say today.
Hmm.
What is your recommendation for that person? Because this comes up so much because
Yes.
number one, it comes up so much because this is normal.
Hmm.
Number two, a lot of people want to quit after they go through those slumps because they think it means there's something wrong with them. And so I think this is so important. Like, what do we do when this happens?
Yeah. So for me, and yeah, like I'm just concurring with you. Like I hear this all the time. It doesn't matter if it's like a client who's building to 1K or the client who's already at 20K months. Like there will be a season or a month where you're just like, I feel like I have no ideas. Um, A couple things I do, like from the energetic side of things, I do both, like energetic and strategic. From the energetic side of things, I'm like, first off, like we need to lock back into your vision. Like, let's not make it about you. Like, let's remember what our bigger vision is here. Because if we go back to that original big vision statement we wrote, I guarantee, like most women, it's not about them. Ever, never, ever. And if it is, that's fine too. That's fine too. But if we go back to that original big vision, I promise you it's not about making the sale today. It's about sharing your heart, impacting other people, helping other people. So that's the first thing. I have them lock back into that. The second thing is we kind of have to dig into like our resilience mindset and have to be like, okay, but the reality is like, even if you look at the biggest companies on the planet, there's a reason they spend billions of dollars in advertising, and you don't have billions of dollars spent in advertising, so you kind of have to be consistent. It doesn't have to be you knock it out of the park every day, but I know deep down if you sat with yourself for like 10 seconds and just asked yourself like what does my like I don't like to use the word audience, but when I'm like what do they need to hear from me today? What do they need to hear from me today? Something will come through, even if it's like not even anything outstanding. So there's that. And then also like on the energetic side of it, the identity is a huge piece of what I teach, where it's like somebody who actually views this as a business, somebody who views themselves as a leader, somebody who really knows like I have to be the embodiment of my transformation for others to see it's possible. Those dips are a lot fewer and far in between. And even when they're in those dips, they will still show up because, again, like it's not about you, it's about the people that you're looking to help. So it doesn't matter how you feel today. And if it really is like you need a day, cool, take a day. Take a day and process that. But if it's just like I'm feeling sorry for myself because I haven't gotten the outside validation, I haven't gotten the sales, I haven't gotten, no, because that's not what it's about, right? And that's kind of where the strategy side comes in, where I'm like, great, we need to look at business. Like, this is something I learned from the working with men that I actually really love. We have to look at business as an experiment almost, where it's like, listen, what we're doing today, we actually don't know if it's going to result in X, Y, or Z. We're going to try it for X amount of time, and it needs to be more than like 20 business days. We're going to try it for X amount of times and stick to this, see what happens, and then tweak it and keep going, right? They don't, men typically in business, like, don't take it personal. If something flops, they're like, cool, I'm still the best thing on the planet, and I'm just gonna, I'll just start, and so that's something I try to ingrain in my clients because women, which I love this about us, but we take things very personally and we take things so to heart where it's like if somebody posts something and it gets 0 likes, or like it must have been shit. I'm like, babe, no, like the algorithm just didn't favor the words you used. It's it's not that deep.
You
Like it's probably nobody even saw it and that's not your fault. Like but that's the thing. I really try to lead with the energetics, get that right first. Like, let's find the gap. Is it mindset? Is it your vision? Like, we slipped out of that. Is it the identity we're leading with? Do we just need to take a few days to get back into that? And then I'm like, then let's look at the strategy. What have we been doing? How long have we been doing it? Do we need to tweak it? Because those lulls happen. Like, hello, have you watched the stock market? Those lulls happen. That's part of business. So, yeah, that's what I always tell people. And maybe that isn't the best, but what do you like? Because my clients say the same thing where they're like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know. I feel like that I hear that a lot. I just don't feel motivated. I'm like, yeah, you won't. It's not about that. What do you like to tell people? Like how do you get your clients back on track when those lulls happen?
I think what you said was absolutely perfect because it takes into account the fact that we're we burn out when we are in the mental drama of the business. If you're not, well, there's two pieces here. I do teach human design, so if you have like an open heart center, like your motivation might not be consistent and you just learn how to work with that and that's the difference, right? If you have a closed heart center, then you might have more willpower to show up. The person with the open heart center though is able to connect into the what others are feeling there. So that's that part. But then the other part is just if we're in the mental drama, then we're burning out. And if we burn out, we're not going to have the motivation to show up. Because even if you don't have the motivation to show up, my guess is, and if you have kids, you understand this and know it. My vision and the compelling reason why I show up is so much bigger than anything else, right? And so I learn how to manage my time better. I learn how to take the breaks when I need it so that I'm not getting in the mental drama. The second you start to like, oh, like, I only got 3 likes on this post, that's where I'm like, okay, because I go through that too. Like I 100% I'm a human being. I go through that. I feel it, I see it, it hits me. And then I'm like, what are the thoughts? What are the feelings? What's coming up? And if I'm literally saying no one cares, I don't matter, like that has to shift. So back into the identity. Like the kind of person who is an entrepreneur who succeeds is willing to only get 3 likes and then move on and evaluate and keep going. So it's very similar to what you have to say. It's just this like, yeah, and that connection to I love what you said about the vision because I feel like so many coaches don't dial in on that anymore.
That's
Like
something about business coaches. It's so crazy to me.
I
It's like all about the bottom line, and I'm like, yeah, they're gonna real quick get tired of that because they're not gonna hit it in the first 30 days.
I've been in programs where it's like, this is not landing for me because we're not like, this is just specifically like step by step, here's what to do. No heart, no personality, no nothing. And those things just they don't last sustainably.
No, they will not. And that's what I always tell my clients, like, because, like I said, a lot of times I will get like very surface level answers. I have a client right now that I just adore, and she is like a powerhouse, but she is one of those people that has a wall up to her emotions, which I'm like, listen, I'm not super overly emotional, but I need you to like give me something. And I'm like, what's your vision? And she's like, I just want to like, it was just funny what she was saying. I was like, girlfriend, we got to go deeper. Like, I need to know if I had a magic wand and could grant you the dream life today, what would it be? And when she started opening that up, I'm like, the reason I'm making you do this is to not make you feel silly. Because I understand it may feel a little silly. It's because I need you to be able to grasp onto something on those hard days because the hard days are going to come. I don't care who you are, what business you have, those hard days will come. And just knowing, like, oh, I'm working towards 10K, that's not going to do shit for you. That will not. Like, your brain will override it, right? We already talked about that. So you have to be able to lean back into, like, this is why I'm doing it and then do it. I think it's such a disservice that business coaches try to compartmentalize the energetics from the strategy. It boggles my mind, actually.
It all is so like it's so connected and this combination of spirituality and mindset and strategy and passion like they all it's why they say there's 4 elements. It's because
Right.
there are there's the passion, there's the mindset, there's the
Yes.
there's
Yeah.
all of the things and we need all of that. Every
Yeah.
single one of us needs a piece of that to be able to be more sustainable and consistent.
Yes. And I think too, like remembering, like you said, like we're all actually a whole human. Um, and that's the biggest part of it. I think when we can be on this online world, it's kind of easy to deduce people down to numbers, including ourselves, like the likes and stuff. And that's why, like, truly, I think people think I'm bullshitting when I say this. Like, I don't know how many followers I have currently. I don't know how many likes my last post. I don't know because I don't spend time on the app. And that blows people's mind. But I'm like, I just post, I engage with things that I actually feel called to engage in for short periods of time. And then I'm off. I spend like less than an hour a day on Instagram. I don't even get on Facebook. And since I've done that, it's like, things have gotten a lot better in my business and in my life because I'm not like wrapped up in the weird world of like Instagram. Do you know what I mean? Where it's like when you consume, 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 you are picking up everybody's energy, everybody's doubt, everybody's everything. And so it's like, you don't have to do that. You don't have to do that to be successful. And I think that is another thing. I'm sure you have seen this. That is another thing I see with online entrepreneurs. I'm like, I don't know who told you that, but they're like, I'm spending 6 hours a day engaging on people's content. I'm like, well, please stop. That's not a
Okay.
lie. That is not a lie.
I'm so glad you brought this up because I have had clients, like, oh, I'm not gonna follow through with this because I need to just be focused on my kids, and not be on Instagram. And it's like, wait, let me shake you. No, you don't
Yeah.
need to be on Instagram. In fact, I delete my Instagram app because I have a very I click on things like I want to like if I'm like sitting there and I'm like have a second to sit down and relax, I'll open up my phone and I'll click on Instagram. Because of that, I know thyself, I check myself, I delete it, right? I post, engage, delete the app for the rest of the day, and I re-add the app the next day if I'm ready to post something. Like it is so, so, so important to know that you don't need to grow a business online and spend hours doing it. It's
Yeah,
just
I think that's like a very 2018 thing that a lot of people are still teaching, unfortunately. And a lot of people are still following, and I'm like, it's not, it's just like everything else I mentioned earlier. It's not actually working. But it is interesting. ChatGPT will tell you to do that. I only know that because I had a client that was like, this is what before they came to me, she's like, this is what I've been doing. I was like, where did you get this from? And she's like, this is what ChatGPT does. I was like, okay.
to train your chat GPT a little bit too.
Yeah. I was like,
Like,
this is
no, this is not
terrible.
something simple.
I was like, this is terrible. But yeah, no, I agree. It's like we have to live a life and be whole humans. And yes, your kids absolutely do need you. And that's why you need to learn a way to exist, and a way to build a business if that's what you desire without it being all consuming. If it is all consuming, it's not going to work for you. And that's just the reality. And so it is so important to have that clarity of what you actually want. And if it's spending 8 hours a day with your kids and 2 hours on your business, cool. Then fine. Make a plan off of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think that is huge that that you also recognize that. So, question for you. I love to ask people this. Like, what's the number one thing that people ask you when what's the number one thing you ask in the DMs or by clients when they come to you?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a good one. Right off the top of my head. It's always I get a lot of people coming to me wanting to grow their self-worth, but that's not what they're looking for, if that makes sense. It's usually like, I want to grow my business, I want to pay off my debt, I want to um have a better relationship with my husband. It's always these, and so I guess I'm just going to kind of generalize this. It's more of like these external things that we're looking to fix the outside, right? Like the circumstance. And it really dials into just feeling whole and complete and loving themselves. And when you do that and you start to learn how to love yourself and build the self-worth and confidence, that's when the outside things shift, right? Like when we change our inner world, everything else will transform. And a lot of times we're just not taught in society that we can fix, like we're just taught that we can like the external things, right? Like that saying that life is a mirror. I don't like that 100% because if you're not there, like if you don't
It's
love
really
yourself, yeah,
triggering. Yeah.
yeah, it can be very triggering. But it is true because if everything on the external world like is not what you're liking, then we really need to look inward because we can go and buy the new car, right? And this is something I learned from my own, like so many people that I grew up with. It's like, okay, having a bad day, I'm gonna go cut my hair. Okay, I'm having a bad day, I'm gonna go buy a new car, I'm gonna trade it in. And that never solved the problem. And so I learned really early on that those weren't the things that actually mattered and they didn't create happiness, which also can kind of like trigger your money mindset if you're like, oh yeah, money doesn't buy happiness, right? So that was another thing kind of like having to rewire there. But it it is always the circumstance, right? This
Right.
thing on the outer world that we want to fix that always brings us to she just needs to be able to look in the mirror and see how amazing she already is, how capable she already is, and just learn to like unpeel back all of the crap that we've taken on, right? Like
Right.
we become magnets to all the things we don't want because like we walk around with these old stories that don't work for us anymore.
Right. It's like the only thing we can focus on is the things we don't want, and then we just attract more of that. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
so crazy how that works, but it's so true. And I love what you said, like basically about like people come to you with the symptoms, and then you're like, yeah, I can help you with that. And then you're like, this is how we're gonna do it. And they're like, wait, what? But it really, that really is the key. It's like there's never going to, if you guys ever see like, oh, 10-minute fix to some lifelong issue, like please just know that's not real. Don't do it.
21 days, 21 days to perfect abs.
Yeah, that's exactly what you're buying. It's not real.
How about we buy lifelong results? Which
Could
is
you imagine if like sixth, seventh grade, we started getting taught like mindset and inner work, like what a different teenage years and your 20s, like it would be a different world. I promise you. I wish that they would like do that instead of, I don't know. There's a lot of things I learned in school that I'm like, why did I learn?
right, like this does not translate into the real world.
No, no, it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing about business too, I think. And even just like starting your own career, like getting out of college and all of a sudden like you're in the real world and you've been learning from textbooks and now you're trying to apply all of this theory into actual real world. And
It's
that's
just
where
not.
so many of us get stuck. And so then we just like fall into the trap of, you know,
Yes. I think that's true for entrepreneurs and for corporate world and even in healthcare. Like that is something I've noticed. Like I'm not like the most brilliant person. I'm not dumb, but I'm not like I've never been like the one that's like, oh, I have the best grades and I'm like the genius. That's not me. And I actually have such bad ADD, like I don't pay attention for shit. So half time I'm not even listening. So with that being said, it's like people are, I get asked a lot, like, how did you do it? How did you build this? Or how, because I have like a brick and mortar business that's successful too. And they're like, well, how did you do this? I'm like, you're really like kind of asking the wrong question because it's like you said, like people want a step by step of like, first I did this and then I did this. It's like, actually, there's probably a way straighter shot that you can get off of ChatGPT. The problem is
yeah.
you're not going to actually implement those things because without the confidence piece, it will never work. And my brother is like a really good therapist. He's very well respected in his field. And he actually said to me before I had kids, I was like, how do I like, what is the best thing I can give my kids? Like, what is the, like, how can I be that? He's like, it above anything else, if you can just instill confidence in them, they will do fine. They will make better choices. They will be able to be adaptable and dynamic. They will be able to figure things out. And when he said that, I was like, that's what I need too. And it's true. Like when I was working as like a COO at these startups, I don't know what the hell I was doing, but I was like, yeah, I'll figure it out. They would tell me to do things that I'm like, I don't even know the words you're saying. Sometimes they would say things like, hey, I need the P&L by Friday. I'm like, what the hell's a P&L? I don't have a business degree. I'm like Googling and figuring it out. But because I have the confidence to be like, I can do this. Dumber people than me have done this. Same with nursing. Like you said, I went through nursing school. We learned all these things, all these things. Then you get in the real world and you're like, oh shit, this is not like what I learned. And you have to learn on your feet. And it's like the people who really succeed are the ones who are like, I'll figure it out. And like keep their calm and are like, cool, like everything's fixable. I'll figure it out. Um, And it's the same thing in entrepreneurship. That's why I'm like, approach it as an experiment. If you can keep an open mind and be like, cool, this didn't go the way I wanted it to, what can I shift? You will succeed. If you approach it as like, I'm a failure, you're just gonna quit because it's gonna feel like shit. Like that confidence you have to have. And that's why it's like your work is so important for people. If you don't have that confidence, that inner knowing, that groundedness, you're going to have a really hard time fixing these symptoms or these circumstances because you will always default back to that lower
Yeah.
level of like, what do I do? What do I do? I can't, you know? So it's like, I'm so glad you said that because that's huge for people to know.
Right. Yeah. And we don't want to just like, I don't know. I just feel like that puts us in like the shoes of a robot. Like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever you say, and it's like, no, like, be you. And
Yeah.
so that's another thing. Like we're taught to not be ourselves and that it's not safe to be ourselves. So when you're and kind of like diving back into what Morgan teaches, like when you learn to build a personal brand around you, you're gonna gain confidence because it is going to push those triggers and like it is like
It's so
entrepreneurship
true.
is no other. Like it is gonna push you to have to grow if you want to
Mhm.
succeed. And it doesn't have to mean that you have to sacrifice all the things or that it has to be like this horrible experience. It just means that like, you get to stop sacrificing and abandoning yourself to be able to start showing up as you, and that is so freeing to just, like, feel comfortable opening up Instagram and being like, "What's up? Blah, blah, blah," and
Yes.
doing
And
yourself.
that's when content, like, I get that a lot from clients who are like, and it goes back to what you're saying, where they're like, I don't know what to post. I'm like, you'll never fucking feel that way if you are embodied. You will not. Because even on the date, like, you guys, I don't live that exciting of life. I live in Wyoming in the middle of nowhere. I have goats in the side of my yard. My house is always a mess. I have a 3-year-old at home with me all the time. Like, my life is not that exciting. I always have something to say because I'm very embodied in who I am and my message matters so much to me. Do you know what I mean? So the content flows when you really get in tune with that. But it's funny because like clients like the first week they're in any of my containers were like, okay, I need to start posting more consistent. I need like that's the symptom, right? Like I'm not posting consistently. And I'm like, yeah, we'll get to it, but I need to like lock in these other things first. Like I don't even know who we're talking to here. You don't even know who you're talking. No wonder you don't have anything to say because you're talking to like they'll say like my ideal client is a woman who's in her 20s. I'm all, that's not an ideal client. That's
Like,
not an ideal client because there's all kinds of kinds, you know? And I'm like, no, no,
yeah.
no, no. So that's the thing. It's like sometimes that slow down to speed up is so important and it's so hard because everyone wants that. I call it like the basement to Bali. Everyone wants the basement to Bali overnight. They want to go from the living in their mom's basement to living in Bali overnight because that's like what we've been sold. And I'm like, okay, it's not going to happen overnight. And that's okay. But like, let's build something that's real so that it can sustain you for years to come. It's not like I made one sale and then crickets for the next
Right,
6 months. Like, that's not going to do anything for you.
right. Yeah. Oh, that is so beautifully said. Basement to volley. I'm gonna use that.
Do it. I don't even think, I think I stole that from, I think I stole that from one of my mentors because I was like, I love that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
it's so true though. But okay, well, we have to
Let's
wrap up, guys. We could talk forever. I could just tell because we have the right vibe. I have to go get kids though, but I have one last question for you before we pop off, if that's
Yeah,
okay.
of
I
course.
would love to know who your favorite mentors are for like money mindset and confidence. I always love asking people this.
Yeah, I love that. And then you've got to share yours as well.
Okay,
'Cause
yeah.
yeah. Okay. Um, oh, money mindset. I've been like this is so cliche in this world, but like manifestation babe it's one of my
Oh,
things.
like Catherine.
Yeah, I
Okay,
have
cool.
like I just that's kind of where it really started. A few years ago she did a program and she said something about like just like treating your money like your best friend or treating your money like a loving relationship. And that shifted so much for me. And even with my husband, like kind of like just like not forcing him to speak differently, but just me showing up and being that example to like shift the way I started speaking about money and around money. that shifted everything for us. So, that was a huge one. Other money, Jamie C. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her.
I love
Her,
Jamie.
yeah, and her content, that's kind of the other one for me. So those two is, yeah, Catherine Zankina and Jamie C.
I love that. I was in a container with Catherine 2 years ago, and it was so funny because, like, it was weird to see her on our Zoom call, because, like, I've only
Yeah,
ever seen, and I was like, oh, she's just like a real person. But it was just so funny because, like, we'd be on our, like, group calls, and I'm just, like, staring at her. I'm like, I am a weirdo. Like, stop it. Like, so stupid. But
right.
yeah, I love her too. It's funny. I actually have her freaking, I have it somewhere and I've never gone through the whole thing, but her book that she wrote, I don't know where it is. But the one that's like, did you ever buy her book that she wrote? I forget what it's
Yeah,
called. Where
she's
you like
got that
write
one.
the check to yourself and stuff. I bought the book and I have it and I've never like gone through the whole thing because I always get like halfway through and then I'm like, oh, you get on a high and then you
I actually recommend this to all my clients.
I love her book.
Because I have manifested so much using that book. It's the 21 day, like,
Do you love
like,
how we can't remember it even though like I've read it probably
yeah, I've bought a couple of those, and honestly, like,
oh,
I
hold
just
on.
utilize those principles. A
For the
lot of it
people
has
who are
shifted.
listening, look, I told you I had it right. It
Yeah.
is Unleash Your Inner Money Babe. I have it.
Yes.
I was like, I know I have it. So funny. I'm like,
Yes.
it's yeah, no, I love her. So for me, I actually like I really don't listen to that many people, which maybe is not a good thing, but my like tried and true ride or die, and I guess this is like controversial right now. So don't come at me if you don't like her, but Amanda Francis is like my oh my gosh, I can't believe you don't know who Amanda Francis. Girl,
I
your homework, I'm giving you homework. Go look up at XO Amanda Francis and it's like Frances. Right now, the reason she's controversial right now, she's been doing this since like 2000 like 15, okay? Earlier than that probably, 2012. The reason she's controversial right now is because she is on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and people hate her because she doesn't fit that archetype. She's
know.
just like, no, I'm
Making
just
the
like gonna manifest my stuff, and people are like, this is, but no, she like her teachings, like I don't even. She's very money focused, and that's what like throws people off because she's very blunt about it, and she's very proud of what she's built, and like I don't teach money mindset, but like the way she teaches about money, I apply to everything, and so she's like my like tried or true. I've listened to her audiobook probably like 20 times
I love
because she
you know.
has like that way of talking that I'm like, yeah, it just hits my soul. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
those
go in.
are the three people you guys need to go look up.
Okay. And then also, if you're not already following, will you give us your Instagram?
Yes, and you need to do the same. I'm so bad at that, and then I always put it in the show notes. But you guys can find me on Instagram at Morgan J Falls, and I'm really only on Instagram. And then let all my people know where they can find you, Mary Jo.
Yes, it's same. I'm mostly on Instagram and then of course the podcast. So I'm at Mary Jo Rember, MaryJo Rember is spelled Remver. And go find my podcast. It's Sovereign Alchemy. It used to be Mindset with Mary, but it's shifted over the years. So that's just a kind of and kind of going back to what Morgan teaches. Like I am gonna constantly evolve and change, but I will tell you this, I have some very devoted clients and people who have been following for a long time. And, people who were following me back before, like, before I was even doing like beach body coaching, which really helped me kind of grow um, my audience and stuff like that. But people come and follow you when you show up as yourself and you be yourself, and trust me, I'm not perfect in this. It just gets like I'm unpeeling layers every single day, and there's still more layers to peel. And when you create that personal brand in your business, it doesn't matter. You don't have to overthink. You can pivot whenever you want. You can stop teaching something today and show up and teach something tomorrow. Like I might decide one day I want to be, you know, I can't even think. I don't know. I can't think right now, but I'm going to sell water. Okay. I
Beautiful.
feel like because I show up and I'm just consistently sharing that vulnerable piece of me, like I know so like especially I know a couple of my clients that they're coming with me, and
Oh yeah,
that's a
there will
part
be
of
people who will do whatever you're doing because
yeah.
they love you. And that's why, like, guys, when people are like, I don't know about personal brand, I'm like, there's a reason that influencers make money selling you Walmart things. Which, listen, I love a Walmart thing, but I would never probably buy half the things I buy if I didn't see an influencer that I love showing it to me. And
Right.
that's the point of it, guys. So anyway, this has been such a fun talk. We need to have each other on again. Thank you so much for your time, Mary Jo.
You for your time as well. If you're wanting to find Morgan and learn more about her programs, just make sure you go join Instagram and follow her and as well as her podcast, Undeniable and Unbothered. So that's what I have for you today. We'll have to get on each other's podcasts again and dive deeper into what
Yes.
we have to offer so that we can, yeah, share all the things. So, okay.
Thanks, guys.
Okay. See ya.